Well, tonight, President Biden is on his way home from Israel after promising to ask Congress for $100 million in humanitarian aid for people in Gaza and the West Bank. He's also secured a commitment from Egypt to open the border crossing into Gaza and allow in trucks filled with supplies. Since the Hamas terrorist attacks on October 7th, more than 1,400 people in Israel have been killed. At least 199 are being held hostage. Nearly 3,500 Palestinians have been killed in retaliatory strikes. Now, before the war, polls showed support for Israel among Americans had actually been on the decline, but that's changed dramatically in the wake of those Hamas attacks. WBZ's John Keller shows us.
Strong support for the Palestinians at this Boston rally, but pull back wider to a poll's eye view of America, and it's a different story. Asked which side their sympathies lie with, 61% of those surveyed said it's Israel by a nearly 5-to-1 margin.
It was in 2021. And it was at one of the lowest levels we've seen, and now suddenly, in the last week, it's at the highest level.
Analyst Tim Malloy of the Quinnipiac poll says the sheer horror of the Hamas attacks, described as Israel's 9/11, has evoked a post-9/11-like response from Americans, who overwhelmingly reject the argument by some that Israel brought this on itself, blaming Hamas for the outbreak of war by a huge margin. But Malloy notes that in a situation like this, public opinion can be volatile. For now, the poll shows the public overwhelmingly sees support for Israel as in our interests. But there's also overwhelming concern about potential escalation into a wider Middle East war. It's a moment, says Malloy, for cool heads and the pursuit of knowledge.
It's a good time for everybody to get out a map and take a look at what Israel looks like and do a little reading historically on this thing, because it's complicated and it's on top of us now and could affect our lives directly.
Well said there. All right, so John, this poll was taken over 4 days that concluded on Monday, and that was before that disputed, horrific bombing of a hospital that happened. Think that changes public opinion on this?
Well, absolutely, it can. That's exactly the kind of episode that can, however disputed the facts might be.
Yeah.
We've seen this again and again over the years, and you see it in politics, too, the politics of war. We mentioned 9/11 in the piece. Remember, George W. Bush was riding high after 9/11. Fast forward to 2007, his approval ratings were some of the lowest ever. So public opinion can be volatile. But America's support for Israel has been strong for many, many years. I don't see it collapsing, but you can't take anything for granted, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with volatility in other regions of the world right now.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, John, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yep, Paula?
John, Chris, thanks.